Okay, it's video time again, I guess. Make the video time. You know, life's been getting on for me. Used to make videos all the time many years ago. Got in trouble. You can't speak against the government too much because they don't like when you tell the truth. And type in my name if you want. Type in Calvin Cumberland into anywhere in the search engine, and you'll find me. I was number one disliked by the Canadian government, that's for sure. But anyway, after going through all my little episode, it didn't. I didn't want to do it no more. I figured, you know what? You're putting your life on the line. You're putting your family on the line. Your friends on the line. Well, your friends all run away from you, most of them. But anyway, yeah, you can type in my name. Find a keyboard here. Yeah, let's find a keyboard. Let's just go to. Okay, I'm gonna just get this mouse working here a little bit, and we're gonna minimize this. Oops. I'm gonna go up here and I'll just type in my name. Just to Google. Let's get it a little smaller here. Okay, I'm just gonna type my name in here. I told you. Okay, we're gonna go Calvin Cumberland. Oops, it comes up right away. Okay, here we go. Calvin Cumberland, severely punished under defamation law. Well, you can look at that. There's lots of it. Sentence of Calvin Cumberland. Calvin Cumberland Tripod, that's another website. Calvin and Marie Cumberland, well, that's just where we live. Okay, well, we'll just click on the first one here. And you can see, there's what I looked like a long time ago. See? I'm uglier now. But that's alright. Video stuff still up there. You'll find all kinds of stuff up there. I was convicted of criminal libel. Judge instructed the jury there was no evidence on all the things that had to be there to convict. But they convicted me anyway, and I asked for an absolute discharge because of the judge's words, and he said, "No, sorry sir, you're getting 7 months house arrest." Well, I guess that was quite the fair trial. Anyway, but that's what happens to you when you battle them, and I didn't want to revisit it. I don't want to revisit it. What for? It just doesn't even make sense to go back at that. So I just don't make statements of allegations anymore. I'm not fighting against the unconstitutionality of income tax anymore. Well, what for? Apparently our Constitution doesn't exist anymore. They say we have a Constitution, 1867, 1982 Constitution, but if you look at how that got in here, it was Trudeau's, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. He was the one that apparently, I guess pushed by the Queen, brought in the 1867, 1982 Constitution. And I guess that's what it did was it made the monarchy absolute, like they're no longer constitutional monarchy, they're do what they want, I guess. And, we think we have a constitution. We think, well, the Queen doesn't mean anything really in Canada anymore. But, they don't call it Royal Canadian Air Force or Royal Navy or Crown Land just to be nice, it's definitely, and if somebody, if royalty is absolute monarchy, not bound to a constitution, I believe they could come in here and just blow us away, and wouldn't be a court in the land or a cop that could do anything to them. But anyway, that's just a part of my little bit of my story. I say you can go online and you can look it up. Just type my name in there. It still comes up. Injustice Busters, I guess it's been taken over by somebody. that took it all over. The guy that was running it, I think he's gone now. I think he died. He was in quite the battle too. You know, there's a lot of stress goes on when you get involved in these kind of things. But anyway, I think we should just forget about it. It's been all these years, you know. That's back like in 2000 when they did these things to me, and I figured I'd get hit, and you know, I was pushing a lot of buttons, and I don't really want to push those buttons anymore. It doesn't pay, so I just go on making little videos, maybe Mandela videos, flat Earth videos, and what brought me back to the surface here. I was out of it for all those years. I wouldn't even make a comment on a video. I wouldn't put up a posting on any information on anything on the internet. I wanted nothing to do with it. I says, you know what? I don't really want to be in jail. What for? For exposing facts, exposing lies, bringing out truth. It's not. It doesn't. You know. What does that pay? What does that do for you? Life's short, man. It's, you know, 60 now. I was younger there. I was like 40, 41. And so I'm not going back there. But what really brought me out, really brought me back out on the table here is because, you know, I see so much going on in this world that's just crazy. Doesn't make sense. And you know, I was kind of a sciencey kind of guy. I liked science. I liked space, you know, stuff about space and planets and the sun and the moon and the stars and Star Trek and, you know, Star Wars and Battlestar and Time Tunnel. And I liked all those science fiction types of things, but it come to the point where, wow, almost 2 years ago, one of my friends says to me, he says, did you take a look at flat Earth stuff? And I says, well, no, not really. I says, I come across a video once, a little bit on it there a number of years back, and I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. And I figured, you know, there's another guy with one oar in the water, and he's going in circles, and I didn't really think I should step in that boat. But anyway, out of just, you know, like, for the fact that I research stuff, I says, I'm going to look at it. I'll take a look at this and just, you know, for myself. I didn't tell the guy I was going to look at it, but I did. And when I started studying, I says, how could this be a fact? The Earth could actually be flat? And I'm doing the measurements. They got the Earth curve chart. I'm getting out the telescope and the cameras, and I'm marking the mileage and seeing how far I can see a shoreline from. I'm looking at the sun coming through the clouds, and where beams come down, it doesn't appear the sun's that high. So much stuff, you know, like no curve to the Earth. That's what really got me. Gyroscope doesn't fall back when planes are flying over the curve of the Earth. It should be falling back. That didn't make sense. The fact that there's a thermosphere above the what's it called, the stratosphere, whatever, where the planes fly. They get up to 5-7 miles, and it goes to, I guess it's 70 below zero. And according to the science books, after you get up so high, the temperature climbs extremely hot. It goes way high when you get into it's called the thermosphere. And I'm looking at the thermosphere and I think, wow, how do these space stations and how do these satellites, how are they sitting in this thermosphere when it's like it's 3,000 degrees Celsius, or what was it, 4 or 4,500 Fahrenheit or something? Ridiculous high temperature. And aluminum melts at what, 1,200 and something degrees? That kind of didn't make sense to me. And when I started looking at it, excuse me, we used to have shortwave, and there was CBs, and there was ham radio operators. And what they do is they shoot a flat beam, just off a beam antenna where the radios, they turn the antenna from this direction, they turn it this direction, and it shoots a beam up, just hits the atmosphere, and it bounces down like 1,000, 1,500 miles difference, long ways away. It hits the thing and it goes back down. And now they're telling me, they're telling me that, well, you point the satellite up, and the satellite's not going straight up through the atmosphere. The satellite is still on an angle. You look at all your satellite dishes, they're always tipped up like this. And you're going to tell me that this little dish for Wi-Fi that you put on your house, the people that are on, for satellite connection, for the internet, and those satellites, those stationary satellites are supposed to be 22,000 miles up. They say, well, it's line of sight, it's easy to shoot at. 22,000 miles. A dish this size. And they got like a whole bunch of people are signed on to, I forget what the name of the satellite is there. My sister's on it. And there's tons of people signed on to this one satellite. And it's shooting from that little dish, and you got a little modem, just like your modem you got in your house. My sister's got one. It doesn't even get warm. I mean, the thing can't be putting out any more than a few watts, maybe as much as a CB would. The CB put out, 3 or 4 watts. And this thing is shooting a beam 22,000 miles up against something that was reflecting all the signals back down, but yet this goes through it, and it goes to the 22,000 miles. It's picked up by that satellite, relayed back down, and that's how you're getting your Wi-Fi. 22,000 miles. Now, you got to look at this. I mean, a little dish like that with, say, 5 watts even on it, which is probably less than that they're putting out. Put that on top of the mountain and shoot it someplace. I do not think, even if it's a clear atmosphere, I don't think you'll ever get 1,000 miles out of that. And so much just doesn't make sense. And you're telling me all these little satellites are pointed up to that one satellite up there, and they're all signals all coming back and forth down. I know this sounds insane, but I do not think they have satellites up there. How would those things exist in that temperature? Now they're trying to tell you that, trying to tell us that, because there's so few particles in the vacuum up there, that the heat doesn't affect it, because doesn't affect it because there's no atmosphere. And I watched a guy on YouTube demonstrate. He put a thermometer inside of a bell, pumped all the air out, tried it with the air in it, put spotlights on it, different types of spotlights, infrared, regular red, regular lights shining on this thing, and it made no difference whether it was in a vacuum or it wasn't in a vacuum. The thermometer still come up to the same thing. So they're telling us a lot of things that don't make sense in some ways, not to me. But anyway, when I really started looking at the flat earth, as insane as it sounds, it's not so insane. It's this ball earth that doesn't make sense. And the ball earth, they don't have a picture of it. NASA, they don't even really have a real picture of it. And this Neil deGrasse Tyson, this dark guy that's on there, he's saying, well, the earth isn't a round ball, it's a oblique spheroid. It's sticking like this because of its spinning, and it's gravity pulled it to make it. Well, if the gravity was pulling it from spinning, why is there water at the poles? And all the pictures they show from supposed to be satellite are all computer generated CGI images, and they all show a round ball. And you can see where they use the clone tool to clone the clouds. And if you start looking at that, you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, it put me in a state of shock. I was lied to. As far as I'm concerned, I felt like I was being lied to. Excuse me, nothing makes sense. If you're going on a 25,000 mile ball and putting it in AutoCAD or whatever, you look it up, Earth curve charts on the internet, it'll show you. And you're supposed to lose 8 inches per mile squared. So as you go along, it drops off fairly fast. So you lose 8 inches the first mile, and after you get to 3 miles, you should be losing 72 inches of your view. I think it is 72, something like that. 6 feet, I think it is. And when you get to 20 miles, you should lose 266 point something feet. Yeah, I can get out of the marina there and look over at the sleeping giant, which is 16 miles away. And from not high from the surface, just to make allowances for the waves bouncing, you can basically see the shore. And when you should be losing at least, at that 16 miles, should be at least losing probably 150 feet of your view of the shore. It's not happening, and so many people have looked at this and said, well, anyway, I come to the conclusion, somebody didn't tell me the truth. There. And I was getting over it. And then, letting it go a little bit, and then somebody comes up with this Mandela effect. I think people are getting sick of that right now too. But yeah, you just, where am I here? Let me get up to this full screen. I think people are kind of getting sick of this Mandela. Flat Earth got to me. The Mandela effect, like this fellow here, he puts up lots of videos too, and he is saying that it's our mind. We're manifesting these things, and it's he said, I don't believe it is CERN or the government that's doing this specifically. I think it's that we're just it's just our consciousness, that it's been happening forever. I don't know. Why would somebody sit around trying to manifest changing a letter on a signs, or taking like you go to Walmart, now part of the cross where the T crosses, it's missing, half of it's gone. The Subway, the old Subway sandwiches, it used to say Subway in there, green sort of a wrapper. Now the sub has a pointy female or male arrow on one side, and it's got a male arrow on the other side. Like, I never seen that. Kit Kat, as far as I remember, used to have a dash between the kit and the cat. Tony the Tiger never always had a blue nose. Look, even in the old commercials, now it's a blue nose, Captain Crunch cereal. Never been Captain Crunch. It's been Cap'n Crunch. Cap'n Crunch. I walk on constantly finding this, and I think, well, what's going on? To me, it appears that somebody has found a way to go back into time and change the past. I mean, and the Monopoly man too. My goodness. I played Monopoly. Kids all played Monopoly. And I'm looking in the cupboards, looking around kids' toys there about a month or so ago. And hang on. And now I've come up with 2 games. Two old Monopoly games. Old ratty boxes. Well, I got a newer one there. But I always remember there was a monocle on that guy. He had a monocle on one. Now, did somebody come into my house and erase this? Did they erase? No markings on this thing. The board itself is in there too. The board's like new, but that's an old game. I don't know how old it is. I don't know. I'll probably see your manufacturing date on here or something. Oh God, I can't see. That's too small. But anyway, that's where I stand with that. And it bothered me. And I says, I think this world is into a Sodom and Gomorrah situation. And if man can go back and change things like this, and change all these things, you know, maybe God's here, maybe he's going to push the button one of these days. I think he's in charge. And personally, in this, in Mandela effect, far as I can see, they have changed. I don't know if they've changed it, but it seems like our body structures have changed. Our internal organs have changed. You know, this is what gets to me. And I keep making these videos because it's because I think we're at a point right now where the power might go out, boys. I think we're gonna come to a point where we're gonna all have to either, most of us will probably be dying, and I think the ones that won't die are gonna have an awful hard time on this earth. I mean, just the fact of what's happening in this world right now, and we're totally dependent on power, on electricity. Everything is dependent on power. You know, it's people don't even really realize how dependent it is. If the power went out, grid shut down. If they knocked out our power grid for even a few days, but 2 weeks, and half the cities would burn down because there's no fire suppression equipment. There'd be no water coming to your house. There'd be no gas, no gas coming to your house, no water pressure, so you wouldn't be able to flush a toilet, no stores open, nowhere to get gas for your cars, and nowhere to go anywhere. Anyway, if you did have gas for your cars, where do you go? So I think at that point it would be a major problem. And I became I seen all this stuff happening, and I said, I got to get back my face on this on the camera again. I got to at least say a few words, and make it, if nothing else, I can say I tried. I tried to inform the people. I tried to prepare the people. I'm not prepared enough either. But I become, what happened is, after all this stuff, all these shocks came to me, somebody came up with a book which is called Steep Tea. And I started looking through these lines of steep tea. It's reasonable. It is a marketing strategy that puts people together, brings people together to have little tea parties and talk about the teas and stock the teas. Because if you have tea, you have lots of nutrients. If you got teas, all different kinds of teas, you could get by with basic staples, like a flour and rice and sugar and a few basic staples. If you don't have the teas and you don't have the nutrients, you're gonna die of malnutrition. You're gonna get scurvy, But the tea is very important. So I've become an advocate of the tea. But anyway, there's so much out there, like in this Mandela effect. I think that God also stepped in. Not just man changing all this stuff, where he probably went back when they must have went back when they were making this Monopoly game. Maybe they went back. Maybe they paid the people to not put them on a call. Maybe they influenced the people that first made the game. Maybe they threatened them with copyright issues. Who knows? But if they changed it back then, our history, I guess, changes. But it sounds absolutely insane. But I mean, it's happening, man. It's just happening, and what can I do about it? Other than just try to inform the people. Hopefully, I end up in heaven, not with the other guy. That wouldn't be a good thing for me. But if there is a better place, I hope I get out of here without suffering too much. I hope to be pulled away before this kind of thing really happens. But I have to say my piece. I have to say something about it, And like I say, I think God has actually stepped in because our body structures have changed too. And I don't think if man is trying to get rid of us or drive us crazy, I don't think he'd make our bodies stronger. And when you look at the fact that the bodies have changed, I don't know, I think there's something in this video here. where these people, they talk all about this Mandela effect. Okay, I was looking something through here, and there's so much in here. But there was right on the body itself. You know, and even the thinking guy. You look at the thinking guy. He used to have his hand on his forehead, as far as I remember. You know, he was sitting like this. The thinking guy, not like that. You know, it's just this is Mandela effect. As far as I can see. Now, if I can find it, oh, here's this thinking guy again. Like these statues seem to have changed, because when people look about the thinking guy, they always seem to have the hand on the forehead. That's where. But I'm trying to find this parts about the body. Oh, this song. What was it called? Oh, I don't want to play it because then I might have copyright strikes or something. Flintstones has now changed. This one about magic mirror on the wall. It used to be mirror, mirror on the wall, as far as I remember, in Snow White. Now it's magic mirror on the wall. You know, it's just so many weird things have happened. But our body has changed. I don't know. I can't find it on here. If I'm looking through here, I don't even see it. I seen it here earlier. What else? What else has changed? Oh, VW. The VW sign, apparently, when I remembered as a kid, those old signs never had this break. Now all of them seem to have the break between it. You know, I can't find where the heck this was about the body. Oh, bone structures have changed. Our parts have changed. Our liver has changed. Our heart. Apparently, our heart used to be more off to the left. Now it's more in the right, or in the center. Our kidneys, I went for an ultrasound there, getting close to a year ago now. Not quite a year ago, I guess it was. And the technician was looking, he was going around with this machine, and he got friendly, talking away. And he's talking about my liver. And the liver is now huge, right on the diaphragm, right in the middle here. It's huge, and my kidneys, my kidneys used to be down low, as far as I know. Now they're up, like tucked. Everything's tucked up in your rib cage. Our bone structures have changed. Even our jaws have changed. I got a tooth pulled about 4 months ago, and I went to this dentist, and he couldn't get the tooth out. He said, I might have to send you to an oral surgeon after he pulled on it for 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. He pulled and pulled and pulled, and his hand was shaking, and he couldn't get that out of there. And what he said to me, he says, you're 60 years old, and you got a jaw like a 20-year-old. And I look at this Mandela effect, and then they're going along about the same thing, about the jaw bones and the brain. The skull have changed. Even the skulls have changed. Just go through. Yeah. Now the skulls, apparently, they used to be opener eye sockets. Now they have like bone in the inside of the eye. I don't know if you can see it on there. It's like bone and small holes for the optic nerves to go through. So many things. And there's little holes in the skull now. There's holes out there and there and there and there. There's holes all over the skull. Like, what the heck that from? I never remember that there before. This was a chiropractor or doctor talking about this, and it was this guy. This guy was talking about it. You'll find him on the YouTubes there someplace. You look him up. And he goes over all the bone structures, and he goes in about the head, the skull, and the jawbone has changed. Rib cages have changed. Bones have gotten stronger, sort of, and bigger. All the organs now are tucked up inside like it used to be just lungs and stuff, basically up here. Now, even the kidneys are up high. And the liver is massive. How would our liver get massive? Big. And I remember studying this in school, and the liver was never that big. You know, like it was never that big. I don't know if they even got a picture of it here, but there's the brain. Oh, here. No, did I miss it? Okay. Yeah. Well, there's the stomach. Yeah. Now the liver is massive up top here, and it never used to be huge up top. I remember it being down on the right side, smaller. It's like 3 times the size of what it used to be, from what I remember. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I have been studying this for a long time. I'm still basically running a health, it's called a health info meetings every month at the college here in Thunder Bay. And you know what? I haven't seen this before, and neither these doctors. You know, you look at things and things have just changed. You know, like I say, the heart's in a different place. Kidneys are way up high now. They're high in the rib cage, and the kidneys used to be down in the bottom of your back. You know, like, I don't know what the heck, but things have changed, my friend. Things have changed. And you look at this, when the president shooting that time, there's more people in the car now. The car seems to have changed. Everything, like, that's the Mandela effect. I don't know. And it's just strange, you know, and I think people are getting tired of it. Oh, Ed McMahon. Well, where do you remember him from? Hey? I remember him, Publishers Clearinghouse. Now, apparently, he never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. Never existed. Oh, Sally Fields. Remember Sally Fields? Never been Sally Fields. Oh, Sally Field. Field? Well, I'm telling you. That's why I'm saying it's like insanity. It's almost like they're trying to drive us insane or something, or get us to stop looking at things, just forget about it, and think we're crazy ourselves. But anyway, it's all I'm saying is I become an advocate of this steep T line. I'm not a consultant. I'm not bought into this thing. My friend, he signed into it, and I says, yeah, I'm going to help you push it. So if you can do anything, link underneath, there's a link to where you can buy the tea through my friend, or you sign up. What you do is you sign on, and you become a consultant, and you know, and you get benefits. You can turn it into a business if you want, and you put good products in your house. Because if anything goes wrong, I think it's very essential to have the tea lined. So anyway, I think I've talked here long enough. I'm sorry for having to inform people that there's that this is all happening. You know, talk about the end of times, and if this isn't a sign of the end of times, very close. I don't know, folks. I just don't know. But anyway, I thank you kindly for watching. I'm very likely going to monetize this channel soon. Maybe make a few bucks on it. I don't know. So if you want to subscribe or whatever, it's your choice. It's appreciated anyway. Thanks for listening.